It's not fully resolved, but it would be a setback. I agree with that.
Why?
Their effort to add a citizenship question is now blocked in court. I think the effort makes sense. We'll see what was lacking in the record. Apparently, I don't know all the details of the case. It wasn't so much a decision on the merits as it was that the administration had not made a persuasive case, and I guess they can still try.
Why should that question be in the census?
I just think it makes sense to make sure that when you count, all this money goes to aid. And, I think a lot of people believe that how much money a state gets based on the number of people should be related to those here legally, not illegally.
Do you agree?
Do you agree that the gerrymandering is out of control in these states?
I agree that it should be. I think one of the problems we have in the country is that House districts are so gerrymandered that you really don't face much of a primary opponent. There's one thing I could do to change the Congress, quite frankly, would be to make some of these House districts more representative of the country.
So you disagree with this decision then for the federal judiciary to punt it and say it's not their right to get involved?
It's not my question to agree or disagree. I agree with the idea that gerrymandering has gotten out of hand. The biggest change since I came here is that House districts are much more homogeneous and money and power is being consolidated. So the biggest fear anybody has in the House, except for a handful of seats, is a primary. And if you change the gerrymandering concept to make it a little more inclusive of the country as a whole, you might get a better product from here.
There's always been, to me, a credible argument that under the political question doctrine, this is an area that the judiciary cannot tread. Even if the judiciary decided to tread there, the question becomes, okay, who's going to apply the principles and who's going to do the enforcement? And based on what I've read so far, I haven't read the entire opinion, obviously. I think the court made the right decision. Now, I'm not naive. There's politics that goes into this. It's human nature that the majority party, human nature in terms of politics, that the majority party is always going to try to protect itself. But I think both sides ought to try to be fair. But it's a political question. That's the way our founders set it up.
It was a carefully devised political strategy to discourage Hispanics from reporting their status to the census takers, and it was for political reasons. It had a direct impact on many states, including my own of Illinois, because when minority populations are undercounted, we end up losing options for federal funds to come our way. So I'm glad the court saw through this. I hope that the lower court does not reach a different conclusion, but this was a political play on the census which never should have been allowed. Sending the gerrymandering question back to the states is a guarantee that nothing's going to happen. It's the states that generate these maps that are controversial. It's unlikely that they're going to find themselves at fault. This had to be a federal question taken on by the federal court, and they refused to do it. So gerrymandering will continue in this country with disproportionate results in many instances.